Hello friends, hello everyone. My name is EASYYY and welcome to my YouTube channel Statistics Medicine. So today we'll be learning about the most important and versatile function in Excel, that is the offset function. I want to tell you one application of it. Whatever graphs you have, whatever charts you have, you want to make them dynamic, then you can use offset function. So without any further ado, let's get started. So what does offset function mean? Offset function returns the range of cells from the initial range from the original range. Or you can say it returns a specified number of rows and columns from the initial range from the original range. So before actually studying any function, we must understand its argument. So we will do for the offset function also. Okay. So we will understand the arguments first in detail. So it has 5 arguments: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is reference, rows, columns, height, and width. So we will understand each an argument first. Reference, rows, columns, height, width. So I want to tell you these 2 arguments. They define the size of your range. They define the size of your range. And they cannot be less than 1. They cannot be less than 1. Just right, cannot be less than 1. Okay, they cannot be less than 1. I will make you understand. Okay, now reference. What does reference mean? Reference, it is the starting point. What does reference mean? Reference means the starting point. So you can imagine as your house as a starting point. Will you for work, for a school, for a college, for a village, anything. We live from a house, right? If it's a house is a base point. We live from a house and we come back to house. Okay. So house is our initial point, it is our base point. For example, I'm just writing the example. House is our starting point. Now rows. Rows means how many rows we want to move. Columns. How many columns we want to move. Mind, I want to tell you one thing over here. Then write front, back, left, right. So front back means now in the rows you can see front side, you're moving front side, you're moving back side, you're moving front side, you're moving back side. So these are your rows, right? These are your rows, moving front side and then you are moving to the back side. Okay. And suppose in the columns is left to right. Suppose you're on the column C, you want to move to column D. So what you're doing, you're going to the right side, right? C to the right side. Now same again, you are in the column C and you want to move to column B. So what you're doing, you're going to the left side. Okay? So these are the small things you must remember. You must be knowing, but then also I'm just repeating it. Okay. So height and width, as I told you, height and width, they define the size of your range. So height means how many rows we want to retrieve. So after all these operations, how many rows you want to retrieve, and some same, how many columns we want to retrieve. Okay, simple. What is reference mean? I will just revise it out. What is reference means? It's a starting point, it's a base point, it's our initial point. Rows. Rows means how many rows you want to move. How many rows you want to move from our starting point. Columns. How many columns you want to move from our starting point. Okay. And again, height. Height means how many rows we want to retrieve. Width, how many columns we want to retrieve. Retrieve means how many rows we want to add in our output. Okay. So now with the help of one example, I will explain it to you. Now offset reference. Reference, it is a starting point. Let us suppose I'm taking A1 as my starting point. Now rows. Rows means let us suppose I want to move 3 rows. So I'm moving 3 rows from the starting point. So let us suppose I'm at column A, I'm moving 3 rows. So I'm moving 1, 2, 3. So I'm at 77. Third is how many columns you want to move. I don't want to move any column. I want to stay in this column only. I write 0. Last is height. So height, suppose I want 2 rows. I want to retrieve 2 rows and 1 is 1. Okay, I will explain to you. 77 and 25. So what is offset? First is starting point. Starting point is column A. We move 3 rows from starting point. So this is the starting point. We move 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. So I'm at 77, right? And how many rows you want to retrieve? I want to retrieve 2 rows, 77 and 25. Okay. So this was all about the offset function. Now, yes, I want to tell you this. This height and width, they can take arguments as 1 and 1. They can take greater than 1, but 1 and 1, they can take, not less than 10. Why? Because if any of this argument is 0, see, height and width, what it does is they define size of your range. If any of these values is 0, so you're telling that it has 0 number of rows and 0 number of columns, which will ultimately result in the invalid range in Excel. Okay, so they cannot be less than 1. They can be 1 and 1, and they can be greater than 1. Okay, so this was all about the offset function. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. I will explain to you. So I want to all of you to play around with this function. You can add any arguments over here, then you will understand. First, try it in many data sets and then explore it in the large data sets. Okay, bye-bye.